Welcome. Oh, let me fix it. It's back there. Oh, back here? Yeah, dude, back there.
Where?
Right back there. Back there.
Oh. I don't know why you need these.
Welcome, everybody, to... This doesn't feel right. Let's go. Oh, yeah, that looks good.
Like that didn't come off right. It just went more down. That's funny.
What do you want to do? I don't know. We don't have an intro. Welcome to the Glaziar Gaming podcast, episode 26. If you saw in the thumbnail, it should be there. This is our sports section of our podcast. We do two sections, one of like Marvel Entertainment and one of sports. So you clicked on the sports one here. We got some good stuff for you today, like we always do. We're like Steve Harvey. We got a good one for you today. Today we have some NBA news. Steph Curry, potentially the best shooter of all time, hitting the most three-pointers. D'Angelo Russell, potentially the best three-point shooter of all time. Anthony Edwards, potentially the best three-point shooter of all time. The Lakers are looking to trade Russ. They signed Isaiah Thomas. Then we have some NFL news. Urban fired. Nice, that worked out well. Urban fired. And then we have some good NFL matchups and NFL picks. Rest in peace, Demaryius Thomas. We got some college football news. And then that's pretty much it. We got some other news like Dan Snyder and that sort of thing. And let's jump to the first topic. We always start with NBA. Unless there's hockey or baseball news, then we try to get those out of the way. The first one, NBA news. Let's talk about Steph Curry. Steph Curry, because we're on a Twitter hiatus because we're trying not to get spoilers for...
It's been going well. I haven't...
Yeah, I've been on to post when my stream starts, but I log on, I post it, and I log off. I don't go to the browsing. I don't... Nothing.
You don't want to go to your browser either.
No. No, if I open that, I'm worried that my computer will break.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Steph Curry, because of that, we haven't been able to tweet out or anything how we feel about it.
Yeah.
But congratulations, Steph. He broke the record most three-point shots made ever. Surpassing Ray Allen and Reggie Miller are the number 2 and 3. If people are talking, is he the greatest three-point shooter of all time? And to me, it's
Jason Capono.
I mean, Capono wasn't bad. Yeah. He's just not like one of those guys, because like there are guys that didn't make a ton or aren't up there. But like when I think who's the best three-point shooter of all time, I think the first person I think of is Klay.
Right.
And then I think Steph.
Sure. And I mean, they're both like record-wise, like three-pointers in the game, three-pointers. Like,
right.
I'm pretty sure Klay has more like what's the number? Like 14 threes in a game? Something like that?
I think he has 15 and he broke Steph's at 14, something like that. Whatever it is, he broke Steph's. Yeah. And he also had 61 points on 15 dribbles.
Yeah, something like that. And then he also had like 34 points in a quarter, beating Kevin Love's like 30.
Right. And like it's just... I think you can call Steph the greatest shooter of all time, and I'm not going to argue it, because it's like, I get it. He's made the most shots, but the way the NBA is moving, I'm sure a lot of people have heard this sort of discussion about how the NBA has become more shooter-friendly, and, I mean, back in the day, if you were to be shooting from half court, they would probably start fouling you at half court and start, body pressing and that sort of thing, and I don't know, because, so I think Mike Miller. He doesn't have a ton, but when I think, when Mike Miller was shooting threes, he was just
not when he was playing for us.
Not when he was playing on the Wolves.
Literally any other team he was on, though, Memphis,
just silky smooth.
Just so good.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of some other ones, like Kyle Korver, JJ Redick were really good. They're not as good as Steph, but they're up, what?
just the comparison of all those players.
Oh, they're all white dudes. Gotcha. Mychal Red. How about that? There you go. Mychal Red. I thought Ben Gordon was an underrated three-point shooter.
Sure.
I'm trying to think of some of the best. Larry Bird. I'm just trying to think of some of the best shooters of all time.
Jason Capono, Duncan Robinson.
Adam Morrison. Yeah, there's some of these guys are really good, and now like you have Anthony Edwards last night makes 10 3-pointers into a single game, youngest Wolf to do it, youngest player to do 10 in a game,
franchise record most threes by a Wolf in a game.
Right, so it's like, but would you consider Anthony Edwards one of the best shooters in basketball? Probably not.
No.
But would you consider Donovan Mitchell one of the best 3-point shooters?
No.
Donovan Mitchell's on pace to shoot more threes than Steph's first 3 years. Like, it's...
I don't...
Donovan Mitchell's on pace to shoot over 500 threes a year.
Yeah, I'm not as high on Donovan Mitchell as other people are.
Right.
So...
But I'm just saying, like, for comparison, like, if you had some of these other... Because I think Reggie Miller is... Like, if Reggie Miller was in the league now where he would be shooting 15 threes a game, Steph would not be... He would not be over Reggie Miller or Ray Allen, same thing.
Right.
And it's like... It's hard because I don't like comparing other generations. It's not the same basketball. Right. That's why, because Larry Bird, what separated him was the fact that he was a better shooter than everyone.
Right.
Reggie Miller was this first dude that was just sinking threes no matter what. And Tracy McGrady, near the end of his career after he came over his injury, was an amazing shooter.
Yeah.
It's just some of these guys are probably better shooters than we give them credit for, and might even be better than Steph. It's just Steph timing.
I think
it's like music.
First of all, Steph doesn't need. It is like music.
Yeah.
Steph doesn't need much space, right? Like he can just crank it up, right?
Yeah.
And he's so
his
accurate.
Release, just like Ray Allen. Boom, it's up.
He's so accurate with. Doesn't matter if he's off balance, whatever. He knows how to put the ball in the hole. And then you've got things like. Curry. You've got things like Dame, like logo Dame, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of stretch the 3-point line out further. Then you've got things like the hardened step back, which is now like not traveling and part of like
Anthony Edwards made 2 of his threes on the hardened step back last night.
So all those were tools that kind of the shooters can use, and I think that's something Steph has adopted as well. And Steph is.
The Warriors run a ton of picks.
Yeah.
So it's hard. So I would say Steph's one of the best shooters of all time. But if you're going to start comparing, it's difficult to say who's the best shooter because not all of them got the same amount of opportunity.
Right.
And when I mention like it's like music, it's certain bands, they have the certain genre and they come out. Like if a grunge band came out now, people would say they were terrible, but if that same band came out in the early 90s, they might be considered one of the best bands of all time. So it's just kind of difficult. Just he part of it is luck and timing, and part of it is he is one of the best shooters. So I'm gonna give him all the credit he deserves. He's one of the best shooters I've personally ever seen. Every time he shoots, you think it's going in, so that means he's a good shooter. As opposed to guys like Anthony Edwards, where when he shoots, makes 10 threes,
hot to just be.
It becomes a national story because it's not supposed to. He doesn't normally do that. When Cat shoots 3, I expect it to go in.
Yeah, also the best shooting big man in NBA history. So.
Yeah. When every time Dirk shot, I thought it was going in. So Dirk's another one of those guys. I don't want to badger it too much, talk on it all the time, but Steph deserves what he did, deserves this record, but it's going to be broken. Somebody's going to come in and
eventually.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are like, can't believe the Wolves passed on him twice. If the Wolves would have drafted Steph Curry, he wouldn't be at the same point he is now.
No, and he also said he wouldn't play for them.
Yeah.
He said that if I get drafted by the Wolves, I'll sit out.
Yeah. So... or the other teams that
people always forget about that.
Yeah,
people always forget he said he would not play for the Wolves.
Yeah,
which is because the Wolves said they wanted to pick him.
Yeah,
but they had to take Johnny Flynn and Rubio because they needed a point guard, and Steph Curry said I will not play for the Timberwolves.
So
the Wolves messed up. They could have taken him and held him hostage, but they had the worst owner in sports history. He's not going to do that. Yeah, so that was one of the big basketball stories. Then we mixed in the other basketball news with Anthony Edwards. The last thing we wanted to touch on for the NBA, you had a D'Angelo Russell stat.
What did I actually write?
You put down that D'Angelo Russell is 3rd in clutch scoring, 1st in clutch 3-point makes, and then you also put down that Jared Vanderbilt is the 7th best offensive rebounder.
Yeah, so just some random stats in here. He's 3rd in clutch scoring.
Yep.
So I believe this clutch scoring is like within 5 points in the last
I think it's last 2 minutes and 5 points.
5 points. So D'Angelo Russell, I believe, is probably our best closer.
Sure.
Just he can always get a shot whenever he needs, and it obviously comes down to like the 7 3-point makes. And then he
proved that in Philly.
Yeah. So in Philly, in Brooklyn.
In Philly though.
When he went up against Philly. Yeah, I know. The fans.
People hadn't even gone in yet, and they knew it was going in.
Yeah, so the other game, I forgot who we went up against. It wasn't Denver. But D'Angelo Russell did a step-back 3, airballed it, but Vanderbilt was right there and just grabbed it and dunked it. So offensive rebound. Yeah, it was a very beautiful
lob
pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just I even saw an article the other day that was like, hold on a second, is this D'Angelo Russell's team? And I was like, no, I think they all have their moments, but I do believe that D'Angelo's our best closer.
If I'm being 100% honest, this is Pat Bev's team.
Yeah.
If you go by who's the leader, I think right now it's Pat Bev's. It's when you look at the team, it's okay. This is Anthony Edwards' team,
right? That's what most people would say.
Anthony Edwards is who he is. A big reason because of Pat Bev.
Yeah. Rubio was a big influence on him.
So. It's the silent leader is the true, like, it's their team. And it's the same guys that would say, also, don't call it my team. And I think Pat Bev would say, don't call it my team. Yeah. But it's his team.
Let's see. So Dame had 5 turnovers. Like, when we went up against Portland, Dame had 5 turnovers. Pat Bev caused 3 of those. And then Pat Bev also caused Dame to shoot, like only make, 5 field goals or something like that.
Rubio used to do the same thing.
Yeah. We went to a Wizards game back in the day, and Rubio was guarding John Wall. John Wall had 4 points or something like that.
He finished the game with 8 points, and he scored 5 of his points when Rubio was not in the game.
Yeah.
So Rubio held him to 3 points himself.
Yeah. So, and then one other thing is that
was a healthy pre-injury John Wall.
Yeah. Yeah, he was mid-20s.
Yeah.
Everyone wants the Wolves to make a splash in free agency, whether it's Ben Simmons or Miles Turner. Those are the big names. I don't think they need to do that.
Trading or free agency?
Trading.
Okay.
I don't think they need to make a big splash.
Sure.
I think they need to shore up their bench because their starters are the best starting unit in the league.
In terms of plus minus.
Plus minus. So they played together 19 minutes last night versus Denver, and they were plus 18 together. Sure. So they are plus 124.
It is a depleted Denver. We're being honest. They have 3 starters out.
They got Jokic and Aaron Gordon.
But they don't have Michael Porter Jr. They don't have Will Barton.
They have Will Barton.
They have Will Barton. Okay, he's back.
There was the Thrill Barton. Jamal Murray's not there.
Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. 2 of their best scorers for the playoffs a couple years
ago. But we've also lost to Denver in 12 straight.
Yeah, it was first win in 13
years. Yeah, since Jimmy. But they are plus 124 in 127 minutes together, which is absolutely bonkers.
They just don't play together.
Yeah, it's just we just need bench help.
Yeah.
I think so.
I agree. That's a big thing with this team is they've always needed a stretch 4, which I think is the wrong mindset. They need a 5.
Vando was 2 for 2 the other night from corner 3s, so he's adding that to his
Gorgie
game.
used to do the same thing.
Yeah,
Gorgie and Bielitsa were also good at
the
this.
slowest.
Well, and that's why I liked Bielitsa. He was a perfect 4
he
for
just
us.
throw him up.
Yeah. So I would have loved if they could have kept him, but again, terrible ownership.
Thibodeau era too.
Yep. And he doesn't want big shooters. He wants guys that play 48 minutes a game. I'm not a fan of Thibodeau. He kind of ruined the team a bit. I like the Wolves the way they are. I wish they could stay healthy, but I do agree they need to go for the bench because right now the Ben Simmons rumors are heating up, and people are saying we need to trade D'Angelo Russell while he's hot to Ben Simmons for Ben Simmons. I don't think that makes the team better at all. Personally, I would and Miles Turner doesn't want to come off the bench. Yeah. So
there was a trade I saw. Well, there's 2 things. There was some really dumb article that said, sorry whoever posted it, but it
don't know.
It was the Wolves need to kick the tires on Kemba Walker.
No, if you kick Kemba's tires, they're gonna break. Yeah. So I would not kick Kemba's tires.
And then there was a very good one that I am 100% for. Sure. It was Jake Layman and a 2nd-round pick for Robin Lopez.
If they would do that, I'd be okay. Jake's still pretty young.
Yeah. But we have all those 2nd-round picks next year, and Robin Lopez would be a big 5. You know what I mean? So if we needed some more size, which I think we do, Robin Lopez.
I would love a player, Robin Lopez, or a player like Robin Lopez.
Yeah.
Like even a Nurkic, one of these guys that might be on the trade block, but Nurkic would be a starter.
JaVale McGee.
I like JaVale McGee a lot, so I would be all for JaVale McGee. Like a Larry Sanders type player would be really nice. Not Barry Sanders, Larry Sanders.
But without the drugs.
Yes, please. Yeah, similar. Like I would have loved Josh Gordon without the drugs. We have one last basketball topic, actually. It is the fact that the Lakers are looking to trade Russell Westbrook. I mentioned that at the beginning.
It's almost like a couple podcasts ago when we said that it was a mistake that they got Russ, and they should have gone for Buddy Hield and Patty Mills.
Yep. We said that from the beginning, that the best thing to do is surround him with starters. We thought that Russ would work. Yeah, shooters is one. Thank you. That the best, LeBron's most success has been with shooters. Everybody says that, blah, 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 but it's true, which is why they were like, oh, well, we better go get Wayne Ellington and Malik Monk. And it's like, well, no, Patty Mills and Buddy Hield would, without Russ, would be doing better than Russ, Malik Monk, Wayne Ellington. It's just...
Right. I saw a proposed trade that I was not opposed to.
Sure.
But the Cavaliers would be opposed to. It would be...
Sexton?
No. Russell Westbrook for Ricky Rubio and Kevin Love.
Oh, yeah. LeBron loves Rubio, and Kevin Love would love to go back to LeBron.
You actually have someone that can run an offense.
Kevin Love's from LA.
Yeah. And obviously Love and LeBron have had their...
Sex.
I'm not opposed.
I'd watch that.
What?
Yeah, I think if the Cavs have 2 starting point guards, or 3 starting point guards.
Yeah, I don't know why the Cavs would do that.
So I don't think they'd want Russ. The one that I saw that I liked was Oklahoma City.
For who? Like what?
Russ for just whatever. Just get Russ out of there.
Another one I saw was Russ for John Wall.
He's the same player.
Yeah.
Might as well. Russ isn't working. Russ is. Personally, I don't think the Lakers are going anywhere anyway. Even as is, whether they get rid of him for John Wall or whatever, I don't think the way they're built is championship ready. I think they'd have to make more than just one trade or deal. And one of those deals they did was for Isaiah Thomas today. Brought him up from the G League where he just scored
42.
Yeah.
42, 8 and 6 or 6 and 8. Something.
Which they need shooting. But if AD continues to not really play defense, somebody has to be, because Isaiah Thomas isn't playing defense. Yeah. So when somebody gets by him, you need a big to stop.
Everyone does that.
It's too small. Well, now that's a fine if you do the too small thing.
Oh.
Luka got a technical immediately.
Nice.
I can't remember who he said was too small, but he went up on somebody after getting an offensive rebound, said too small, and ref immediately.
Nice.
So can't do too small anymore.
If we did like this.
But yeah, so maybe Russ will help, or not Russ. Maybe Isaiah Thomas will help, but I don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah. I don't really see a lot of success.
Play them tomorrow.
I think the Rubio thing, Kevin Love for Russ. Maybe the Lakers have to throw in a pick somewhere.
Yeah.
But if they want to win now, they have to be willing to sacrifice something like that. That's all I can think of, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it for basketball talk. Woo! 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 Let's do college football before we go into the NFL. I know college football isn't big, so again, like usual, going to try to just get through college football quickly. Jim Harbaugh won Coach of the Year. Earlier this year, you talked to me about Jim Harbaugh. And you said you didn't think Jim Harbaugh was good because that's all you heard, that you don't really pay attention to college football, but everybody said
well, obviously
Jim
I
Harbaugh
remember
sucks.
him from the NFL.
Right.
I mean, I don't think he's a bad coach, but I've always heard is just people complaining,
That
or
he's
him
bad.
losing games he should win, and then that's what the media spotlight is. So.
Yep. Even though he's almost literally 2 plays away from making the championship in both of his or making the college playoff in all of his first few years of coaching. So he's really good. He deserves Coach of the Year. They've lost to Michigan State, that was it, but they're in the playoff. So I think congratulations, Jim Harbaugh, and I think it was well deserved. Then we have a couple big transfers. So Quinn Ewers was the number 1 recruit that for good his senior year of high school.
Sure.
To go to the Ohio
a huge
State.
NIL deal. Right?
Yeah. Yep. With it was like not vitamin water, but I feel like it was some sort of water deal. So he is leaving Ohio State, transferring to Texas. I think that's awesome because they're a huge football program, and Ohio State now they have to go up against Michigan, and Michigan State's better.
Oh,
Gophers
sleepy.
are getting better.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Yeah, I think it's a good choice for Quinn Ewers, and I think it's awesome. I'm excited to watch it because he needs to start, and Ohio State was probably going to tell him, "Oh, you still got to compete." When Texas is probably like, "You're starting."
Right.
Another big one was Spencer Rattler transferred to South Carolina. He was projected to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft before this year started. Now he was considered. He was told, rumor. He was told that he might not get drafted. So now he's going to South Carolina to try to get his reputation. He had lost 1 game as a starter, by the way. So obviously his stats don't show it, but he's not a terrible quarterback.
Right.
It's just he had the expectations of Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, all these Jalen Suggs.
Jalen Suggs.
I know that was what I was going to say, so it was
Okay.
Suggs. He had Jalen Hurts, all these guys that won Heisman or in the running for Heisman. Everybody expected him with Lincoln Riley to do it again. Lincoln Riley left, so he's like, "Oh, I'm leaving." I think it's a smart move for him career-wise. Sure. And then there was that number 1 corner recruit he decommitted. Now he's going to Jackson State with Deion Sanders at Petco. So awesome there. And the number 1 recruit decommitted from Clemson. He's the first person to ever decommit from Clemson since 2016. He is now going to USC with Lincoln Riley.
Nice.
Then, that is it for college football. That's it. So now we'll jump into the NFL. The first thing I want to talk about is, so everybody's talking about John Gruden and Urban Meyer kind of sweeping under the rug the fact that Dan Snyder recently, according to the Washington Post, tried to obstruct investigation of his team with the sexual assault allegations by intimidation of employees. So
this is Washington football team.
This is Washington football team's owner, Dan Snyder.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff came out like with the Gruden stuff because it was with in regards
and that's
to, like,
why
Jake
Gruden stuff came out. Was because the team's under investigation.
Yeah, and there was a lot of ugly stuff I heard about that.
Oh, yeah. Racist, sexist, all of it.
Yeah, like the cheerleaders and everything.
The thing that blew my mind was, I apologize for anybody who's sensitive, but when Gruden said monkey lips, I was like, dude, there are parts of the United States where you would be killed on that spot by calling somebody monkey lips. I mean, he deserves to get punched for that. That is, oh my goodness. That is, you're not saying any word specific, like the word separate. Monkey, nothing wrong with that. You call it to a person, especially a black person, that immediately has a different connotation to it. Just, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't, like, the stuff about with women and talking about their boobs and forcing the cheerleaders to show their boobs. Yeah, that was horrible too. But the monkey lips to me was the one that was like, that one.
Don't do that.
No, don't do that. But anyway, because of Urban Meyer getting fired, people are not talking about Dan Snyder messing with the investigation. That needs to be talked about. So hopefully for the people watching, if you didn't read about it, check out the Washington Post. They go into detail about how he was allegedly threatening employees to not say anything with their jobs. So we mentioned it. Urban Meyer, though. Urban fired. Urban fired Meyer. Is gone. Fired after 13 games with Jacksonville Jaguars. Plenty. Couldn't grind it out.
No, he couldn't grind out the rest of the season.
Couldn't grind out the rest of the season. He just doesn't fit. He's just not a NFL coach. People have said this before. When he was starting, he's going to try to run it like a college team, and that's exactly what he was doing. He doesn't have enough control. He needs 100% control. You don't have 100% control when you're coaching grown men with families. You have 100% control when you own the town, like he did when he was at Ohio State and Florida. Like, I thought that this would be one of the teams that he might be able to succeed at, but after the first few weeks and all this, that he hired the coach without doing a background check. He hired.
I mean, are the Jacksonville Jaguars perfect? No, but you want to see, like, you've got talent. I mean, you've got.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, James Robinson, is up and coming running back. Trevor Lawrence. I mean, is Trevor Lawrence gonna be perfect? No, but is he Zach Wilson?
I feel bad because his development now takes another hit. So he has a bad coach, and now a bad coach that's trying to coach like college. So now he doesn't even have NFL coaching help yet,
right?
Because he's still experiencing a college coach, and now he's getting a second coach who's going to bring in a new offensive coordinator. It's just
I feel bad for Trevor Lawrence.
Super bad. And I also feel bad for DJ Chark and Laviska Shenault. I feel bad for all of their players, defense, offense, because they're going to have to deal with more turmoil that
it just delays everything.
Right.
So
very Jags, unfortunately. I like the Jags a lot. Very Browns, very Jags, very Jets, very Dolphins, very not Dolphins of recently.
Tua's been turning it around.
Right. So it's just very, very much one of those consistent, like same with Bengals are turning it around.
Lions.
I would like to see the Jags turn it around like the Bengals.
I want to see Trevor Lawrence succeed.
I want to see Lawrence. I want to see James Robinson succeed. I want to see Miles Jack succeed.
Yeah. I just want all the teams to, I want all the games to be competitive. So, except the Packers.
But yeah, Urban Meyer got fired, deserved it. Not a very good coach, and sounds like he kicked Josh Lambo in the thigh when he was on the team. When they were in practice, he kicked Josh Lambo in the leg.
Good.
So, just not a good coach, not somebody that you want on the team. So, Jags fans, you might be upset, but this is better for the team overall. The next thing I want to talk about is kind of on the sad side. Demaryius Thomas died.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't bawl my eyes out, but
it hit you when
it
you
hit
read
me.
it.
Yeah, I was like, no, I was like, no, and then I don't know, my energy drained from my body. So
it's because at first I was like, oh, that's Demaryius Thomas is young. It couldn't be the football player. Like when I read it, I was like, it's not Demaryius Thomas, the football player. Right. And then I was like, oh, it was. Yeah. And then it was like he's found dead, supposed heart problem. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
He did a ton of stuff off field. So all I wanted to say was, the world is going to miss him because he was doing things outside of football that didn't get a lot of attention. He did a lot of things with children and charities. So. When what is it? I think it was Lincoln Park. When another light goes out, he's just one of those guys. He was a bright light, and so it was. The world notices when a brighter light is snuffed out. Yeah. So it was just super sad. Wanted to bring it up. If you don't know what the sort of things that he did off the field, go check it out, and you can still donate to some of those charities. So go ahead and check it out. The world lost a good one. Now the last thing is finishing. The rest of the podcast is going to be NFL talk. We have some game matchups. The one rule I have made... Game matchups. Okay. The one rule I have for us this week, you mentioned it last week, we're not talking Patriots this week. They have a good game. It is a good game. It's Colts. We're not
It's
talking.
too easy. They're too easy.
Right. Can't talk about them. We just can't.
Right.
We talk
but
every
here's
week.
the thing. If we don't talk about them this week, which we already have,
by not talking about them, we're talking about them.
If we don't talk about them this week and they lose, we may be their Achilles heel.
We'll find out because we're not talking about them. First thing, football team versus Eagles. The reason I want to talk about this is because people are like, oh, football team's not very good. It has huge weight because if the Eagles win this, there's a good chance that they're making the playoffs.
Right. Because they have that 7th spot. The football team does.
Yeah.
So,
actually, I think the Eagles have it now.
I don't know.
Because
everyone has the same record.
Lost last week.
There's like the 4 people that are winning the thing, and then it's all 6 and 7.
And that's why I want to talk about them because I believe the Eagles are favored. The Eagles.
Hurts is questionable, I think, though.
Eagles are favored by 10.
Wow.
In Philadelphia, and they're both 6 and 7.
Everyone's 6 and 7.
Yeah.
There's like 10 teams that are 6 and 7.
So, I honestly think the Eagles win this one, even without Hurts. I don't care who's that. Well, I mean,
Heineke's a top fantasy quarterback, so
Gardner Minshew had a better game passing than Jalen Hurts has had all season.
Gardner Minshew is absolutely.
Yeah.
But because of Hurts' legs, Hurts has been like a top 12 fantasy quarterback.
Yeah, Hurts is, I believe, I forgot how many weeks. It was like 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Hurts was in the top 10 for rushing, including running backs and quarterbacks. So Hurts brings more to the field, but Gardner Minshew, if you want to pass the ball, it's a running team.
Yeah,
but
Miles Sanders and
Minshew allows Devontae Smith to get into the game, allows Miles Sanders to use his hands because he has really good hands.
I mean, that's basically the only target that outside of like Goddard a little bit.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith was like the only one getting Jalen Hurts targets. So
right, because they have a couple other guys that just aren't great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think even if Gardner Minshew,
right.
Jalen Reagor is one of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think Gardner Minshew.
Well, then they could have got a guy like Justin
Jefferson. Yeah,
that would have been nice.
Don't they have J.J. Arcega-Whiteside?
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway,
pretty sure they still have Alshon somewhere on their team.
Probably not. But I think with how good their rushing attack is against a Washington defense that just is kind of hit or miss, I think the Eagles win it. I think the 10 is actually fair. I don't think it's going to be a very close game.
Sure.
So I want to talk about it because I think the Eagles are making the playoffs. I think they're a 6-7 team that are eventually making the playoffs.
Because the Cowboys are going to win the division.
Right. I think they'll make one of the wild card spots.
Sure.
I think there's a good chance they can win out. So want to talk about that. Next game. Jags-Texans. I wanted to talk about this because both teams are ass. And I just think it's so funny because you think they're both 2-11.
Yeah.
In Jacksonville.
Yeah, I don't
Jags
know
are favored by 5.
Yeah, I don't know if Tyrod Taylor's playing either. So if Davis Mills is in there, it's just going to be...
The last 21 games, the Texans are 17-4 against the Jags.
Ooh. I'll take the Jags.
Jags are favored. Jags are favored by 5. They've won 7 straight games against Jacksonville, including this season where they've already beaten them 37-21.
The Texans have no rushing.
Sounds like Davis Mills is going to start.
0 rushing.
That's true.
0 rushing.
Yeah. I think the Jags win it because I don't know what the Texans are going to do.
The Texans are going to be one-dimensional in the passing game with Davis Mills, who throws nothing but interceptions. So, yeah.
We'll take the Jags this time. And Texans are heading more towards the early. Their pick is worth their early picks. Probably number 1 overall. The next game I wanted to mention, Bengals-Broncos, because they are both 7-6. Another one of those like super close games. It's in Denver, and the Broncos are favored by 2.5. I think the Bengals are a better team.
Yeah.
Even in Denver, I think the Bengals pull off the upset.
I think
both teams are fine with cold weather.
Burrow just has some weird games where like it's playing really good, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, the Bengals are legit, like they can win games, and then Burrow just has a dud.
Yeah, very Stafford-esque when he was on the Lions.
Yeah, so
I think Bengals pull it off.
I'll take the Broncos.
Okay,
I'll take the Broncos in this one.
If the Broncos win, I'm gonna guess it's on the back of Melvin Gordon. Sure, because he was, in my opinion, should have been Player of the Week last week
over Dalvin.
Yep. Because the Vikings didn't win because of Dalvin, but the Broncos won because of Melvin.
They won because of Justin Jefferson.
They won with the whole team. They won with a set of players.
Yeah, they won because Harrison Smith was in the right place in the last play of the game.
Well, the Vikings tweeted out, and they said, who was your player of the game? And everybody was saying Dalvin. I said Harrison Smith.
Yeah.
He had one of his best games as a Viking in the past 5 years. Next game. Last game before the Vikings. Packers-Ravens.
It's supposed to be a shootout.
At Baltimore. The lowest over-under outside of the Texans-Jags.
It's supposed to be a shootout.
I don't know. Both teams have really good defense.
Yeah. All it said is...
I bet Lamar breaks 100. Rushing.
Sacked? No. I wouldn't doubt it. We saw Kirk run his. I believe Kirk had a 19-yard scamper versus the Packers or something too. So if Kirk can do it,
if White Lamar can do it, Lamar can do it.
As long as he throws it to Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews,
that's all matters.
Couple 10 times a piece. So
that's what matters.
That's what matters.
Okay, well, Packers are favored by 5.5 in Baltimore, which means if it was in Green Bay, they'd consider it a blowout.
Yeah, Pack will find a way to win probably.
Yeah, I think Lamar Jackson runs for over 100 yards, but the Ravens still lose.
Mark Andrews has been on a tear, so I'll just go with the safe thing and say Mark Andrews touchdown because he's been.
And I don't do bold prediction for Packers games. Yeah.
Bold predictions: the Packers lose by 30. The rest of the season.
By the way, bold predictions last week. I was 3 for 4 on mine, including what was the Lions week? The week the Vikings beat the Lions. I was 3 for 4. On my bold predictions, I had Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown, Lions winning. I don't know. There was a couple of them. There was like a random linebacker sack or strip sack that I was like, "Yep, got that." So
look at that.
last game, Vikings. I know. Vikings Bears. I don't know what the line is. I think the Vikings actually have a game where this is the first time in a while where I actually felt like they'd win. Favored by 4.5. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's Andy Dalton, right? Is it Justin Fields?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what the Bears are going to.
The Bears haven't scared me all year, really, but we lost to the Lions, so anything's possible.
I think Vikings win.
I hope so.
This is one of those games where you think they're going to win, though. That's the scary thing, because whenever you think the Vikings are going to win, that's when they don't.
Yeah.
Whenever you think they're not going to... When you think they're going to lose, they lose, but it's close.
Yeah. It's a one-possession game.
It's probably going to be a one-possession game. Come down to the last play. Because it doesn't matter if they're up 29-0. They're still going to make sure it comes down to the last play.
Exactly. Entertaining.
Yeah, that's what it is. Not, taking years off our lives. I think the Vikings win. This is probably... I don't know. It's probably going to be close. I think the Bears' defense is still good, no matter how bad the team is overall.
Sure.
And the Vikings have a lot of injuries.
Yeah, I what scares me is that when you look at the offenses that shouldn't be good, they're usually really good versus us. So, I mean, the Lions scored, what, 29
We always get
points?
beat by the backup quarterbacks and the bad quarterbacks.
Yeah. The Steelers have no business scoring 28 points, but they scored 28 points. Mm-hmm. I don't trust our 30th ranked defense, but I still think the Vikings are going to pull it out.
Get it here. Looks like one of my cat's hairs, honestly. But yeah, I think Vikings pull it out, which I don't recommend ever doing. And bold prediction.
No Alexander Madison.
Right, so it means Kenny will get more carries.
CJ Ham.
I was going to say, if Alexander Madison's out, bold prediction is a CJ Ham touchdown.
That's what I was thinking, too.
Hammer it in.
Yeah,
with his hammer. Bold prediction for the Bears?
Cole Kmet. Touchdown.
Yeah. I like that. Rushing. Tight end sweep. Passing touchdown. Passes it to Andy Dalton.
To Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, we'll do the same prediction on both sides. CJ Ham touchdown, Cole Kmet touchdown. That's it. That's all we got for sports.
That's it.
All right. Oh, Usain Bolt credits video games for his success.
As he should.
Slide that in there. And that is it for sports. Thank you all for watching this week, and I'll see you again next week because we release episodes every week. We're coming out, yeah. So thank you again if you've made it this far in the video or on Spotify. Follow, like, subscribe, do anything you can. It really helps out the channel, and it really helps us move forward and be able to continue doing what we enjoy doing so much. So, you all look great today. GG.
GG.